Okay, the CD, compact disc. Yes, it's gives you a perspective of the room. Greg Ripper's room. My bedroom actually, but I won't show you that area because the bed's really messy. CD is a really simple board, probably the simplest, most easy to understand board once you stand on them. Visually, it's an ellipse basically. Yes, nice, round. There's that shape, and then there's the curve at the front's a little bit fuller than the back, and it's the type of board that you stand on and ride without much thought. They're so free because they're curvy in terms of plan shape that they fit in really well and roll from rail to rail. So they have a beautiful feeling. You generate speed from the smoothness of the middle plan shape, which is quite not straight, but it's the smoothest part, dead center where your feet are. There's no nose and there's no tail. They're just rounded off. So you're getting the points out of the way. There's no swallow sticking back into the back of the wave, which has its place for a different style of surfing. And you don't have any nose to consider. And the reason why we do nose flip is to stop the thing from grabbing. So you get it out of the way with rocker. But another way to get it out of the way is just to get it out of the way. Just round the thing off and remove it. Now, if you ride these things a little bit shorter than what your normal shortboard is, like 5 or 6 inches shorter, then they're quite an amazing toy to just position and pump and fit into whatever part of the wave that they'll go, which is just about everywhere. The one other thing to them that's really nice is standing in tubes. Not exactly like Jesus Christ, but you get this feeling with the absence of the nose that you're standing on nothing. So you have a 4 to 5 foot tube, about person height, something you can just sort of crouch in just a little bit. You're standing there going, oh, I'm in a tube, and I look down, and in your peripheral vision, if you could be bothered to sense it, you'll realize that there's nothing visual in front of you, and you feel like you're standing on nothing. So Jesus walked on water. Sorry to get back to him again, but he didn't ride tubes on his feet. So maybe it's even more of an amazing thing. Okay, so I love them. I rode one for about, I don't know how long, probably 2 years straight, a 5.5, 9.25, 2.25, which, yes, was derived from Matt Biolis's little venture into videography. He made a great film and made cool a set of dimensions, which is quite a clever branding and marketing exercise. Well done, Matthew. So I have this one shape, the CD, and then from that I've created a mini CD, and I'm going to now make the stretch CD, which will be an interesting blend of the three. I doubt anyone, the weirdest, oddest people will just get 3 of those things. And in a way, they're probably a great idea just to get to understand surfing. So I sell bigger versions of them to people that are coming off mini males, for example, 7.6 or 8 foot mini male. They can go to a 6.10, and it's going to have a little bit of, or quite a lot of stability, obviously, but not as much as what they were used to, but a little bit more performance because it's still short enough to swing around compared to their 8-footer, for example. That's one part of the market. Then there's a small group of guys that are very good surfers, competent to very good, and they ride point breaks on medium-sized versions of the CD. Something like for a 75-kilo guy, he'd be riding a 5.7 or a 5.8 and in point waves. But the top turn is incredible because it's like something you're doing in probably the early 70s where the boards had very full noses or round noses. We have this really snappy crack off the top and then a beautiful drivey turn from the smooth plane shape in the middle. So that's another guy. So you've got the beginning kind of dude on the bigger version of it, which is why this is a funny board because people don't know how to identify with it. The middle guy is a very competent surfer. He's a carve surfer, and they carve absolutely beautifully. The roundhouses are incredible because you come back on the rounded plane shape. Why won't it fit in? It's got a beautiful curvy little tail plane shape. Then the other one, the more funky version, the mini CD, I've got one of them, and I ride as a twin fin with pretty gutsy big. Well, here's these ones which I shot earlier today. Pins like that. I get the one with the more perfect looking patterns on it. 2 of them in there. You don't even need a stabilizer because they're that big. These are chunky big pins. That really creates an amazing, super free, super loose, pivotal, glidey, fast package. No corners, no straights, no big swallows, no keel fins. If you're riding small waves and you want to plane and tear, why don't you create something that fits in? And so I rate the Mini CD as probably the loosest, most responsive board in the market worldwide. That's not just in my range, that's anyone's. There's nothing like it. It's the fastest, loosest, tightest turning, most responsive board you can get. So I've got a 5.3 by 20 by 2.5 with twin fins in it. Try and beat that for maneuverability. Forget about it. There's nothing as free as that. Beyond silly shapes that don't actually drive and function. Even Derek Hine, bless his heart, said, "Wow, Greg, you are going really well on that board." And he likes no fins, and that had big whopping twin fins in it. Curve fins, actually. We'll talk about them in another part of the website at some stage in the future. That's the longest one. I'm really, really sorry. 5:47. 40, 50, keep counting. I'll go back to my little drinky peas. Maybe because I've been drinking. That's probably what the problem is. Night night.